G'day, my name's Simon Gillice with Gillice Practical Rifle Wings. We ran our Tarata medium range and hunters event last weekend, and one of the stages we used was this Tyres stage. So I didn't get an opportunity to video that stage last weekend, so I thought I'd do it today and just demonstrate a bit of how I approach a stage, because this one was quite complex with a lot of movement and a lot of thought, or I thought it needed quite a bit of thought to go into. So the stage itself, there's two targets, one of them at 290 metres, which is the low target down there in the crossing, and the other one at 370 metres, which is a bit higher up on the hill. So the one at 370 is a 300 millimetre square, and the one at 290 is a 25 centimetre or 250 millimetre square. The close one was worth less points than the far one. Okay, so the more points for hitting the far one. So the stage description said, an open class, you had unlimited round count to make 4 hits on each target. Now, it also said, so there's sort of 8 marked positions on the tyres. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The rules said that if once you'd used a particular position and got a hit from that position, you couldn't use it again. Okay? So 4 hits on 2 targets equals 8 hits in total, and you've got 8 positions to use. You can't use a position twice. So this stage needed a bit of thought. You know, which position were you going to use for which target? Are you going to start with a long target to get more points because it's worth more? Or are you going to start with a short one and start with your high positions and move down? Are you going to shoot all one target and then shift to finish the stage on the other target so you don't have to adjust your scope more than once? Or are you going to chop between them depending on what position you plan to use? But, as I say, it needed quite a bit of thought. Now the time limit was 3 minutes, so I've got my timer on my armband here because I don't have someone else timing me here today. And yeah, so quite a complex sort of stage. So I'm going to explain what my plan is to do it, and then I'll see. I haven't had a dry fire or practice this today at all, so we'll see coming in cold how it goes. So how I'm going to do this stage. Now the close target should technically be easier. It is a little bit more shielded from the wind, and so I thought I'd try and use some more oddball positions and the more positions that are slanted downhill for that target. So for the bottom target, I'm going to use the top as the most unstable position. I'm going to use through the gap on the bottom tyre, mainly because it's already, from a sitting position, it's already slanted downhill. I'm going to use between the tyres or underneath the tyres for the downhill target, mainly again because it's already slanted downhill. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to use this position here for the downhill target, again because it's naturally slanted downhill. Then the far target leaves me with through the top tyre, on top of this tyre, a prone shot from there, and a prone shot from there. Now those ones, these are good solid supported kneeling positions, and then I've got a supported prone. Okay, so I'm not going to use my bipod today, mainly because I left it at home and don't have it here to use. But I also have my Armageddon gear bag rider. Yeah, so I'm going to use that because I think it's quite useful. So it's unlimited round count. I've got 2 mags loaded up there, one with 14, the other one 5. If I need the 5, I'll be struggling. So scope setup is another one. Because of 2 different distances, on a really fast time limit, ideally you don't really want to be adjusting your scope more than once. So I've got my dope written here on my armboard, so it is right there. I can just reach up and click the scope. On a speed stage, I really like being able to point the reticle directly at the target rather than hold over or hold under. Mainly because under a speed stage, I try to keep things as simple as possible. And naturally, the way I shoot wants the centre of the reticle to be on the centre of the target. So I've dialed on whatever wind I think's there, and I've dialed the short target for here. If I'm running out of time, I've worked out with the dope that the difference between the short target and the long target is only about 0.5 mil, or pretty close. And so by dialing the first target, the short target, all I've got to do is hold the first line under the centre of the reticle and I'll be bang on for the second one. Or within 0.1 of a mil, so within one click, so I'll be pretty close. So all our stages are a standing start. So I've got my timer here set for the stage time limit of 3 minutes. And I've got my arm board here, I've got my scope dialed in for the short target, which I want to start with. I'm starting with a short target mainly because, I don't know, it feels natural to me, and I don't want to start by missing a whole heap and flustering myself on the long target, and I want to get some points, if not get all the points. So yeah, so I'm all, I should talk about that as well. Another consideration in a stage like this is because all the movement, and because the multiple targets and all that, one thing I see a lot of is people always try to use the maximum scope power when they're shooting. Now, they're dialing on distances and they're dialing on wind, and then they take the time to zoom up the scope. They find the target and then they zoom it up. For a stage like this, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to shoot on about 12 power. It's about where I like to shoot. If I was a full-on supported prone, I'd crank the power up. I'll reword that. If I was a full-on supported prone on a single target, I would crank the scope power up. If I've got multiple targets, then I'm going to sit about 16 or so power. On a multi-stage like this, or a multi-positional stage like this, I'm going to sit on 12 because that's about naturally where I like to be. And it gives me a better field of view, allows me to locate targets better, still gives me enough clarity in the scope reticle to be able to shoot them accurately though, so particularly at these distances. So there you go. That's my approach to a stage, or quite a complex stage like this. And yeah, we'll give it a go now and see if I can hit some. So 3 minutes on the clock, got my arm border, the scope's dialed in, scope's on the right power. And all our stages are a standing start. And it's alright, we'll stand up. All our stages are a standing start, mag loaded, bolt open. So let me remember how I'm going to do this. Alright, because this is quite an unstable position up here, I'm going to leave it till last. And yeah, I'll come back to it if I get time. Okay, so here we go. This is the Tyres stage from the Tarata Medium Range and Hunters course in the open class. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Gotta find it. Right, so that's my 3 on that target. Go to the far target. Alright, so that's my 4. See if I can make the stand. Right. Well, I have to admit, that went better than I thought it would. I do hope I haven't forgotten a stage. I'm pretty sure I did them all. I'll have to count up my, have a playback on the video and see how I did. One thing I wanted to demonstrate is I've still got 51 seconds left. Okay, so the stage time was 3 minutes and I've still got 51 seconds left. So it's plenty of time if you had some misses to go through there and with an unlimited round count make those up. So I'm going to count up my shots and count up my cases and just make sure I did fire 8. And if I didn't, I'm going to do the stage again and you're not going to see this video. So all good, that's very good. So Genuine Steel Challenge is coming up this coming weekend. I'm super looking forward to that. I've got a heap of targets to go out and we've got a busy week leading up to it. That's going to be a shit ton of fun and hopefully I should have some video and some photos coming out from that on the Facebook page. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've got a bit out of my explanation on how I approach a shoot stage and hopefully we'll see you at a shoot sometime. Cheers very much.